Hi, are you an Online Plus beginner? Welcome to our training. I'd like to walk you through the different areas of this training course and provide you with some tips on just how to get started being an Online Plus instructor. This page is designed with how to prepare for your virtual class, what to do within the actual virtual classroom setting, and here in just a second I'll take you into the Adobe Connect classroom and show you a couple of these components, and then what to do after class and how to follow up with your students. Let's take a look at our what to do before class, that preparation for the virtual classroom. You want to be sure that your students know when the virtual classroom session is, what day, what time, Eastern, Central Time, whatever the time frame it is that you're going to be holding. That's really important. Make sure to provide a URL to the meeting room for them, and then post that in the course somewhere. Is it going to be via course email and the course calendar through an announcement? Also, you might want to provide the PSC's phone number. Having that 24/7 support line is really handy for students. But also for beginners, once you get in the classroom prior to the class start, use voice over IP for your voice. As opposed to the telephone. The VoIP tends to work a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to get ready. And use an internal microphone as opposed to a headset. It's already embedded in the actual classroom. Let's take a look too first at some in-class activities that you can do. I've broken these sections into student-faculty interaction, student-to-student interaction, and student-to-content. This is the triad of that interaction that needs to take place within a course, and this is how we can do it in a virtual classroom. I'll introduce some of these and then we'll walk into Adobe Connect and look at those. User status symbols are a way to get students engaged in the course or in the classroom session, and then your ability as the faculty member to control that conversation while also being able to deliver information is really important. It takes some time to sort of get used to that, but recognizing that you are in control of the situation, you can deliver some information, have some interaction with your students, use user status symbols or chat conversation down here is really going to be important for you. Now we're in the Adobe Connect classroom. Let's take a look at how to start your audio. You're going to go to the audio button and start your meeting audio. It will default to select computers for voice over IP or the phone. As a beginner, I would deselect that phone option just so that you don't have to, as the instructor, call in using a phone. You can just use the embedded microphone within your computer. If you want to enable your students to talk back to you, definitely a good idea. Go ahead and click that button to enable that and say start. Now you'll notice a microphone button up here at the top of the screen. You'll want to select the drop-down menu and connect your audio when you're ready. I would recommend first, however, running the audio setup wizard within Adobe Connect. Once you run this setup wizard, it'll walk you through a series of checks to decide where you want your audio to come from, and then test your voice so that you can hear what you sound like. Once that is complete, come over here and push the microphone button, and it will change, and you can click allow and it will change to green, and now you're talking. Notice that as I'm talking you can see this microphone button come up here as well in the attendees pod. That's how we know that the voice is coming through. One more piece I wanted to show you in terms of user status symbols as a beginner is to come up here and look at this drop down menu. These are the different user status symbols that you can explain to your students how to agree with you or disagree with you, and as you do this you'll notice down here in the attendees pod that you get a green checkbox. This is an agreement. It's a toggle button with disagree, and now you see that little button come up there. It's just an easy way if you ask questions to your students saying, did you do the homework last night? They can come up here and say green check for yes, red X for no, and then also use these different icons, little emoticons, to be able to express their opinions during the session. Also can use this button here to ask questions if they have it. It's a nice easy way to introduce yourself to using Adobe Connect. Heading back into the guide, I want to draw your attention down to the in-class activities, student content interaction. You know, we can always use chat conversation to get students talking with each other, but how are you going to get students interacting with the content on the screen, or getting that to change so that it keeps them engaged in the session? Using fill-in-the-blank style PowerPoint presentations where the students can draw on the screen using the whiteboard, or you as the instructor can, really makes that come alive. Making sure that you know how to upload presentation materials on the fly to a share pod, utilizing that whiteboard so that you can actually draw on the screen. There are a lot of different tools you can use attached to your computer, like a stylus and your mouse pad, to engage within that whiteboard. Sharing your desktop is another way. As a beginner, you want to utilize that default template layout, so that, or the layout template, because there's no need to create your own layouts. This default template is going to work really well for you. Let's take another look at that Adobe Connect classroom, and notice here along the right hand side, these are the different layouts that have been created for you. Okay, you can come down in here into polls, and you'll see that there are some polls you can go ahead and fill in if you want. Let's go down here to this whiteboard layout. It's a share pod that has a whiteboard, and you can utilize this pencil tool, and then it gives you some different colors that you can select from. Come over here with your mouse and write a problem up on the board if you're a math instructor. Very simple math problem, but I'm just using the mouse and writing it on the board so the students are seeing that it's actively coming up as they are in the session. We can come down here if we want to create a new page, use the arrow, and start to create another problem. So we have 2 now plus 3 equals 5. So again, very simple math problems, but you can utilize this to draw on the screen. If you are in an anatomy and physiology course or a medical terminology course and you want to draw a picture of one of the bodily organs and then label the part. So if we want to go through the different areas of the kidney and then talk about the different vessels that come in and out of that and what it looks like, you can draw those things on the screen. And then you can change the color if you want to make it a little bit more dynamic and let it stand out. But the whiteboard is an excellent tool for beginner online plus teachers to be able to just engage within the classroom, allow the students to come in here and do this as well. Back to the guide. If you have any questions on any of the things that I referred to in the Adobe Connect meeting room, you can go ahead and click on this Adobe Connect Meetings tab, and I have pulled over some of the information from our Adobe Connect guide that really focuses on all the technical how-tos. So you have some different areas focusing on pods and audio, recording a meeting, things that I didn't really refer to in this beginner level training, but if you have any of those questions, I pulled those tools over here. This is, again, all the pages copied in from the Adobe Connect training guide research for you. I hope you enjoyed this beginner level training and that you're ready to go and deliver your first virtual class. Have a great day.